What's going on, everybody? It's your boy CK, and look, we're gonna keep this video short. Now, instead of going over the entire game like I normally do, I go in and we talk about the different things and whatnot and blah 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 and highlights like we have right here on the screen. I'm just gonna talk, and we're just gonna talk and try to figure out what's going on. Now, one of my main issues I had with this game was with the fact that we did not. The starting five just looked terrible. I mean, we looked good in the first half, but then in that third quarter where we always fall apart, the starting five just did not look good. Listen to everyone's favorite starting point guard right now, Mr. Jarrett Jack. He'll say it better than I can about how the starting five played.
Just failed to play hard on both ends of the floor. They might have made some defensive adjustments at halftime because we were scoring the ball at a pretty high clip in the first half, but I don't think it was anything they did that should have made us get in the offensive rut like we did. I put a lot of it on my shoulders, me being the point guard. So I'll take the brunt of that on my shoulders and understand that, it's my duty to make sure everybody's out there focused, locked in, ready to take on the task at hand.
There were just so many things wrong with how we came out and played today. Now, after such a great win in New Orleans, I mean, I understand the San Antonio loss is a game we should have probably won as well, being it was at home. But as far as being on the road with such a great win and figuring out, a good formula on how we need to play games on the road, it looked like we had kind of figured it out against a playoff team in the New Orleans Pelicans, and now we're back east and playing another Eastern Conference playoff team. I thought for the most part we had this game in the wraps, but let's skip ahead to the third quarter because that's where everything fell apart. Because we looked good in the first half, but the third quarter is where it just fell apart. So beginning the third quarter, we had our normal starting five. There's 10:57 on the clock, and look at that turnover by John Wall. Now, don't get me started on Jarrett Jack. Jarrett Jack. And it's no hate, nowhere near any hate compared to like guys in the past that we've had, like Raymond Felton and some of the other point guards that we've had on our team. But Jarrett Jack is just not a starting point guard anymore. That's just the state. I mean, we talk about it all the time in the comments. A lot of us are talking about point guard issues, and I know I got the homie Carl bringing it up almost every video, and I'm right there with you. But yeah, I think it's about time we do look at Trey Burke, who has been doing crazy stuff for the Westchester Knicks. You've seen these highlights right here, and he's just been looking great. I mean, mind you, I know this is a G League compared to the NBA, but the man can put the ball in the hole, and that's what we need. I understand on the defensive end, but that's what we have Frank Ntilikina for. In a situation like this, I was really upset that Jeff Hornacek called the timeouts when he did, but he didn't put Frank Ntilikina in to change it up because John Wall was just tearing us up. John Wall and Bradley Beal. In a situation like that, you got to bring out some kind of defensive spark, especially since Frank Ntilikina was having such a great first half. I don't understand why we took him out when we took him out. Again, it's the same thing as I was saying with yesterday's game. You got to let him learn. You got to let him play through it. Whether it be a bad time like against the San Antonio Spurs, or whether it be to last night against the Wizards where, he was having a great game, let him build on that. Those are the kind of games that Frank Ntilikina needs to go through. Now, I understand one thing if he's like a late first-round pick or second-round pick, but he's our lottery pick. He's shown us so many flashes of brilliance and of greatness, but we're giving him these 18-minute games, barely 20-minute games, and even the games where he's playing well in, like tonight, and he lost all momentum. And in the second half, when our normal suspects like my boy Beasley was showing up, Frank Ntilikina could have been right there doing the same things like we normally do. Our second unit's been playing really well for us, as we saw in this game. The second unit was tearing up the first unit in the first half. It's just very frustrating. Again, I'm not gonna necessarily blame and put all blame on Jeff Hornacek yet. I still don't think it's his fault because he has been making the right moves. It's just in times like this, I still scratch my head over some of the decisions he's making. It's been inconsistent, so that's why I'm not gonna blame Jeff Hornacek for these kind of mistakes. But it's just I don't know. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. And while you guys are typing up below what you think our problem is as we drop to 18 and 20, let's hear what KP and Michael Beasley have to say.
At least I felt like they were all focused on what I was doing, so wherever I went, wherever there was contact there, boom, boom, bumping me there. So it was, it's obviously, you know, having Tim out doesn't make stuff easier, you know. So hopefully Tim can be back with us soon and kind of take a little bit of that pressure and tension off of myself and other guys.
It was everybody. But one thing we can't do is start getting down on ourselves, and we do a bad job of that when they score 1 or 2 or 3 in a row. We kind of hang our heads and before we get back into it, you know. If we want to be a good team, even a great team, we got to go with the flow of the game. We got to realize they're gonna go on runs and we're gonna go on runs, you know. But our runs will be a lot harder once we get down, you know. So we got to stay in the game. We got to hold each other accountable, but at the same time, we got to lift each other up.
Well, there you have it. Wise words from my boy Beasley, and that's pretty much it. We got our next game coming up tomorrow, and it's coming up against the Miami Heat. We're still on this second road trip that we got going on, so we're in Miami. I'm hoping that this is a game that we can win. We can figure it out, but something needs to change. Something needs to change as far as, you know, our moves and whatever you want to do as far as the roster. You know, we're getting really close to being in the danger zone. We're 18-20. Maybe it's time to make a move for, you know, the same suspects we always talk about, as in William and Gomez. You know, you want to put no one in their sessions. Any of those guys cut sessions, bring someone else in. I don't know. There are a lot of things that we can do. Love hearing you guys' comments in the comments below. Feel free to say whatever you guys say. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I know it's a shorter video than most, but I just didn't want to waste anybody's time going through the highlights for a game where we just did not look inspired at all. But the most important part, and I will address, is my boy Michael Beasley went out there and did his part. He played a great game and he did everything he could to try to keep us in it. But defensively, Jarrett Jack was just looking. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be safe, y'all.